What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Pens and Tea. My name is Carrie, and today I'm going to do the thing that I said like a year or maybe two ago. I don't know. Time is a construct. Does anybody know how long things were pre or post pandemic? You know, I don't know either. Your guess is as good as mine. But I did say that this would be the last time I ever talked about this pen, or more specifically this brand, unless they came out with something super new, super innovative, super out there that everybody's got to talk about and I have to try because I just have to. That's not the case either. On my last video, which was part 3, was it part 3 or was it part 2? One of the 3-part series that I posted where I went over all of my pens really quickly to find out which one I wanted to ink up and use. I showcased a pen and immediately I got a couple different DMs on Instagram, actually, because that's generally the best place to get me. And they were like, hey, like, I thought you hated this company. I thought you hated this pen. Why do you still have it? I'm Confucian. And I was like, well, that's a story, which I said I would never talk about again. But now I'm going to talk about it. And that pen is one of 3 that I have inked up currently. And I'm going to talk about it. It's a secret. I can't tell you what it is, though. JK. I mean, you can probably tell just by going like this. And then if you know me, if you've been watching my channel for a while, you're gonna know that it's TWSBI. Now, I'm not gonna get into the whole long story again. You can go back, you can find my videos, especially the one that I said, like, this is the last time I'm gonna talk about it, or something like that. Long story short, I have a love-hate relationship with TWSBI. Not necessarily as a brand. The brand is fine. It's just with the actual pens themselves. Not getting into that. That I legitimately won't talk about anymore. But people wanted to know, if I don't really like TWSBI pens, why do I have a TWSBI pen in my collection? And that is because this is the exception. This is the exception that proves the rule. This is the TWSBI Diamond 580 ALR. Which just means that it has like the little like ribby stuff, which, by the way, TWSBI, if somebody is watching this, which I doubt it because, I mean, why? Please start making the ones without the rib section. I don't mind it. It's not a thing that I dislike or like necessarily. I just... ink gets caught in there. Like, for me, it's not a texture thing as far as writing with it goes. Don't really care one way or the other. But because there's so many bumps, unless you are, you know, super smooth, it's just another thing for ink to get caught in when you ink up a pen. And that's obnoxious. So please stop it. And or sell the collars individually so people can kind of swap them out. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Let me know in the comment section down below if you would also appreciate the collar being sold separately. Just facts. Anywho's, getting distracted here. Yes, I have kept this pen in my collection because I quite like it. And I'm going to flip the camera around and tell you why I quite like it while we write together.
All right. Well, I'll give you a really quick close-up. I have done a formal review on this, by the way, if you want to check that out. But basically, finial on top, if this will focus. Apparently it will not. Yes? No? Maybe? All right, well, whatever. Finial on top. This is what I mean by, like, the little rib section. Come on, phone. What does it matter with you? See, Apple knows I quit, so they've stopped making their phone work for me. Big giant branding, Diamond 580 ALR, made in Taiwan. Little rib section here. Piston, absolutely love it. Love the build, love the quality there. The nib itself, I have a fine nib, writes very nicely. And I asked in a previous video if I should speed this up or slow it down. Why? And everybody basically said, keep it. So we're going to. Gosh, focusing is such a beast these days. My goodness. All right. Anybody out there who has an iPhone 14 Pro, what the is going on? Like, for realsies. This is actually ticking me off. The ink is Ferris wheel press. Oh my gosh, what actually is it now? Ferris wheel press, storied blue, that's what it is. I really like this ink quite a bit. Once again, focus. It is amazing ink to show some good shading. No sheen, no glitter. I'm over this whole glitter movement thing. But some really good shading. And I very much appreciate it. And it's a little darker than I was expecting too. Like, it's still very pale, but it's such a pleasant color. I am very pleased with it, especially when you have a pen that writes really wet. This, I'm assuming this is an ink sample, so I haven't had this ink in other pens, but I'm going to guess that this potentially could be a wetter writing ink as well. But this is certainly a wet writing nib, which is why I think I like it so much, because my biggest beef with TWSBI pens is that their nibs are typically very, very stiff and very, very dry. They're never really scratchy. I have had one that was really scratchy, but for the most part, they're just really stiff, really dry. The biggest issue I think I have with most TWSBI pens is they need to fix their feeds. Their feeds are very delicate, especially on this model here, where you can easily bend these. And that's garbage. I really, really wish they would fix that. But with this one, you have actually a little bit of line variation. And this is, for a TWSBI pen, a lot of line variation, because they're usually like writing with a nail. Which, again, not a bad thing. That's what a lot of people like in pens. It's just not me. And so because this one writes differently than that, that is why I think I like it so much. And that's why I have a TWSBI pen in my collection. Now, you do have some resistance while you write on the paper. You do feel the nib on the paper, but it's not scratchy at all, which is really, really nice. And I like the crispness of the line very, very much. Reverse writing is super scratchy, but it keeps up no problemo. So that's basically short and skinny of why I have this pen in my collection, and that's because it writes the way that I want it to. It writes the way that I want it to, and that's basically it. Because my biggest thing is that most of the time TWSBI pens I don't like the way that they write. And this one does, and I adore the actual body itself. I like the color, I like the build, I like everything about TWSBI, and the fact that you can take it apart. I just don't really like the way that they write, and this one fits the bill for me. The only issue, like I said, that I still wish TWSBI would fix at a factory level is just the very weak fins. That, I think, is going to be their next thing that they fix, like they had to fix all the crack and cap issues a few years ago. But let me know in the comment section down below if you also have a TWSBI pen and if you like it, or if you have a TWSBI pen and you don't like it. Let me know why and why not, in the comment section down below. While you're down there, if you want to check out the like button and the subscribe, I have videos coming out every Monday and Friday, and occasionally a rando will pop up on Tuesdays. If you check out the description below, you'll find a link to my Patreon account if you would like to help support me and what I do over there. And as always, I'll see you guys next time. Bye.